leaving a pain in his temple. He was out of the bed in a panic before consciousness had fully arrested him. Martin stumbled in the dark towards the door, shunting into the unfamiliar wall by the bathroom. Just as he opened the door to the hall, the woman in room 608 did the same. Martin had the sense, though he couldn't be sure, that the blonde woman's voice had been rising, and now it was at fever pitch. She didn't seem to know whether she wanted to go back into the room or stay out in the hall, holding her head and pacing. A trio of small boys, one of them already blubbering with tears, followed her movements back and forth as other hotel guests emerged from their rooms. "How can he be gone? How can he be gone?" The woman was crying. She was panting, sweat slick and badly sunburned. "Richie! Richie! Oh, Jesus! He's missing! He's gone!" Chapter 2. One of them was missing. I snapped out of my sleep, the sweltering night materializing around me, loud through the open windows of the house. The rain had come and gone, but the reptilian and amphibian creatures that dwelled in the forest around my property kept up their barking, hoping for more to break the heat. I threw back the sheets, sitting on the edge of the bed, as the thought evolved from a panicked impulse into a clear message. I'd put 6 geese away that evening, not 7. It was something I felt rather than knew. My geese are well trained. They obey my commands like fat, feathered soldiers, and when I'd open up their coop at sunset and told them to get in, I'd observed a row enter the little house without feeling the need to do a roll call. There should have been 6 grey, 1 white. I went out into the hall and through the kitchen, finding my way by the square cutouts of moonlit rainforest in each room, until I grabbed my torch and pushed through the back screen door. My heart was beating hard. The dog, Celine, knew something was up immediately, guessed wrongly that it was her residency on the cane lounge, a terrible misdeed. She slithered guiltily off the cushions as I jogged down the stairs and through the wet grass to the goose coop. 6 heads popped up from under wings. "Shit," I whispered, pushing on feathered chests as they came crowding at the entrance to be let out. I refastened the door of the coop and swung the torch around the property, the wire fence at the waterline, the gently lapping lake, still as pale glass in the moonlight. I braced for that terrible sight, a scattering of feathers trailing into the woods where the missing bird had been dragged by a fox or wildcat. Celine was whimpering at the edge of the porch, wagging her tail encouragingly so that it thumped the boards as she tried to work out my mission. My geese are important to me. I had rescued the family of birds from certain death on the banks of Crimson Lake a year earlier, unaware that they would be the ones to rescue me. I'd taken comfort in caring for creatures more helpless than myself after an accusation had destroyed my life and taken away my home, my job, and my family. Now, one of them was gone. I did a lap of the house and caught sight of a pale mound underneath the lounge Celine had been sleeping on. The bird was tucked against the wall at the very back corner of the porch. I flattened on the wooden boards and shone the torch on the bird, and she lifted her head slightly. "Peeper," I called, reaching. "What are you doing, you silly thing?" She wouldn't come. I jumped up and slid the couch away, and lifted the large, warm bird from the ground. I knew immediately that something wasn't right. When I picked up the geese, they usually pedaled their feet in protest. Peeper's legs remained limp. I set her down and she stood for only a second before sinking again into a bundle, her head tucked against her chest. Oh no,